Today I'm going to show you how to drill out a lockbox on a Marvin in-swing or out-swing door that is stuck in the locked position. You cannot get it unlocked. You've tried everything. I'm going to show you a few hints and tips to get a door that is stuck in the locked position unlocked. In my 20 plus years of doing this, I've been fortunate enough to where I've only had to drill out two. I've always managed to be able to get the door unlocked. But for the worst case, I'm going to show you how to drill out specifically on this door. What I'm going to show you will not work on the older 1993 to 1999 Marvin doors where we use this Trimco lockbox is the brand. But what I remember, these lockboxes are no longer available. There was or is instructions on Marvin's website. It's been a long time since I've done one where it shows you how to specifically measure on the box to drill it out to release the whole mechanism. If you have to do that, you have to order, from what I remember, contact your Marvin dealer. You have to order replacement door panels with all the new updated hardware. What I'm going to show you is the most common, is from anything manufactured from 1999 to present at the time of this video, 2019. So I'm going to show you two scenarios. One is the most common scenario where you have full access to the inside of your door where we can remove the handle set to reuse it. We can drill out the lockbox and replace it and reuse the handle, and the handle will cover where we drill out on it. The worst case scenario is there's only one access point to the whole entire building. It's stuck in the lock position, and we're going to have to drill off the handle set to drill out the lockbox, and we're going to have to drill on the face of the door to get the bottom rod to release. And yes, this was a real scenario, and I cannot make this stuff up. So before we get started, you need to make sure that you have all of the replacement parts. For the most common scenario where you have full access to the inside, you're going to have to make sure you have a new mortise lockbox. And for the worst case scenario, you're going to have to make sure you have an entire new panel fully equipped with all new hardware installed from the factory. And that way we can get it replaced. So let's get started. To get started here, I'm going to take one of these bits and I'll show a picture of the parts in the video. We're going to drill this out. And what that's going to do, that's going to cause this cam to come out and to release, so you can release this deadbolt by pulling in on this. When you pull on this, that will allow this whole locking mechanism to release, so you can retract the rods by putting your handle back in the door and having this come up. Or you can take this hook and sometimes you can grab it on the components in there to cause your rods to retract. Also, to give you a visual, if you need to change the handing of this lockbox, you can move that up like that to change that around. Or as you can see here, and this box is taken apart, there's a hole here. You can actually take your hook in here and press that down so you can change the handing of the box if your box is installed. And you can do it just like that. One of the first things I like to do is check the reveal and see how large this gap is here and how this one gets smaller and smaller and smaller. That's telling me either the house is settled or the door has moved out of square, or this door panel has fallen out of adjustment and we need to bring this up. Because if this is this far down, more than likely we may not have a frozen lockbox. Maybe the deadbolt is just not in the slot and there's extra pressure on that, and I'll show you that. So first we want to bring this door up, and we can do that by adjusting this hinge and turning it clockwise. And that's going to bring this door up. And we want to put equal pressure on all three hinges. See how that hinge is going up like that? The reason why we check the top of the door first to look at the reveal is because sometimes this deadbolt is actually sitting on top of this, and it's causing the deadbolt to be in an angle if the door has fallen out of adjustment. And you're trying to unlock it, and it won't unlock because this deadbolt is actually catching on this strike. So it was important to make sure that the door was adjusted up to bring this deadbolt so it fits in this slot, and then you can try to unlock it. And obviously if it doesn't unlock, then you more likely have to drill out your lockbox. But that definitely has to be checked first. The other thing you can try if your door is stuck in a locked position and you can't get it unlocked, obviously you can take like a putty knife and you can try to do this I don't know how many times also I just keep pounding on a door really hard and just keep moving the handle up and down and hitting real hard, I can get it to release. So sometimes being very persuasive and having someone pound on the door while you're moving things, I've had these boxes release. So that's another thing to try. Okay, we're at the bottom of the door, and this door has multi-point hardware on it, so it's got this rod down here. So if you're fortunate enough, if you don't see that, take your putty knife and put it in there now. That way, if that rod falls, it doesn't fall down into the sill of your door, making it difficult to unlock. If it is extended at this time, sometimes you can take a putty knife that's been sharpened like this one, push to where it's hitting that rod, push, and then move this up like that, and then put pressure on the door, and that helps keep that from falling. Move your putty knife back down, release the pressure of the door while you're pushing on the deadbolt, keep going up, put pressure on the door, and just keep doing that. If you keep doing it enough, it can cause that bottom rod to go up. And if it does, keep this in there, and then we can finish drilling out our lockbox. If you cannot do this because everything's stuck in the lock position, once we drill out the lockbox, then we can do this same process after the lockbox has been drilled out. And then we can open our door. Okay, we got a door stuck in the lock position. The next step before we drill in here is we need to take this handle set off. You may want to have someone go on the outside and catch the handle so it doesn't fall off on the other side. So by taking off this Allen screw at the bottom, we're going to go ahead and take the handle off. Just like that. And then from the outside, if no one can catch it, you can just push that in and everything will fall outside. So now that we got the handle set off, now's another opportunity to try to get this door unlocked again. Sometimes I've had this happen where I take this handle, put it in here, take a screwdriver, and it's binding really bad. Sometimes I could just keep forcing up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Repeat it, and sometimes you can get it to unlock. If you're fortunate enough for that, then obviously you got your door open. If not, then the next step is to go ahead and drill this out. Okay, we still have our door that will not unlock. Make sure you use a really heavy-duty drill with this bit on here. We're going to go ahead and drill right in there, just like that. That's okay if this wood gets tore up, because you can see the outline of the handle will cover any damage that's done. Since this is our display, I don't want to damage this door. I have an old door I'm going to do this on, and we'll go ahead and drill that one out so you can see how it's done. Okay, now it's time to drill out the door. We're going to drill right here. That way we can get access to this and get this deadbolt to release. We may have to drill through the other side too to get that to release, but right now we're just going to try it this way. Okay, we got through the first part. Might be able to get that out of there. All right, now that we got that done, let's go ahead and take our little hook, see if we can find that deadbolt. There you go, look at that. That was super easy, wasn't it? Now we can go ahead and take our handle and release the multi-point and the latch. If the multi-point didn't release at the bottom, what I showed you earlier, you can just take that putty knife at this point and lift up on the bottom rod to do that. Now we can open the door and replace the lockbox. Now we're going to do the worst case scenario where you cannot open the door from the outside and we have to drill off the handle set because we can't unscrew it from the outside. So first we're going to go ahead and take your Allen wrench and undo this bottom screw here, and then take off the lever handle. And then you're going to have to mark, as you can maybe be able to see here and here, where we're going to have to drill. So it's 15/16 of an inch from there, 15/16 from an inch there, 15/16, 15/16, and then you're going to measure from the top there 1 inch and 7/16, And then from here to here, 1.7/16 inches. We can go ahead and drill this off. I'm just using a 1/2-inch drill bit. Oh, I just broke my bit. Oh, I just broke my bit. Wow, look at that, broke it right off. So I'm gonna go ahead and use the next size down that I have, and we'll go ahead and drill this out. Hopefully I won't break it. Okay, it looks like I broke the screw, the head of the screw off. I'm gonna go ahead and use a smaller drill bit this time. Okay, I went ahead and moved to a 1/4 inch. See if we can get the screw the rest of the way out. All right, okay, we got that back screw to come right out. I'm gonna go ahead and use the same 1/4 inch bit up here and see if we can't do the same thing. All right, perfect, we got that handle set off. So obviously we drilled this box out earlier, so at this point you could actually do what we did earlier, is put this in the center and drill that out. It's probably gonna be a little bit more of a challenge for you to drill in here, but you can get it started and get it done. Okay, now that we got this deadbolt released, now the locking rods, if the door doesn't open and you can't put your lever handle back on here to open your door, your bottom rod may have fell down. So now what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to drill on the face of this door to get to the locking rod so we can pull it up. We're continuing with our worst case scenario. Now that we drilled out for the deadbolt, now we have the locking rod stuck in the sill. So now we need to be able to drill a hole on the face of the door so we can grab a hold of that rod and lift it up to release the bottom. So we're taking our new lock box. I'm gonna lay it up here like this, and this is where the rod goes. So I'm gonna just go ahead and mark it here, and that's where I'm gonna drill my hole. Meant to do that. There's our locking rod right there. Now that we got that removed, that gave us access to our locking rod. I should have probably told you, be careful not to drill too far so you break the rod and it falls down the door even further. So I'm going to go ahead and take my vice grips on this locking rod, and I'm going to lift up to release the door. So now the door is released. Now that I got the door open, I'm going to go ahead and put the new lock box in, or in this case, because I destroyed this entire panel, replace the whole panel. If you want to see how to change out a lock box on a Marvin swinging door, please click on the link in the description below on how to change out a lock box on a Marvin swinging door. So I'm going to go ahead and get this door back together. Well, there you go, just like brand new. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Windows and Doors with Positive Paul. I hope you found this video informative on how to drill out a lock box on a Marvin swinging door. If you're not a subscriber, please consider hitting the subscribe button to join me for future episodes. Thank you for watching and have a great day.